Welcome to The Village, a podcast focusing on the students, staff, and community members that make Village Elementary unique. We are your hosts today. I am Nicole.
I am Tilly.
I'm Zoe.
And I'm Mrs. Evans.
Today we'll be reviewing all of the 7 habits of happy kids, or as some may call it, the 7 habits of highly effective people.
All of our previous episodes are posted on thevillage.usd253.net. You can listen to all the episodes about the habits, as well as podcast episodes from the past about many different topics.
The past 7 episodes of the podcast have all been about these habits.
Eagle leaders have invited guests on that they thought were good examples of people who practice these habits in their daily lives.
The first episode was just about what habits are. They discussed good habits and bad habits, and how you can create good habits and get rid of bad habits.
The next episode was about habit 1 being proactive.
Being proactive means that you are in charge not of others but of yourself. You are the only person who can control your actions and your feelings. There will always be things that happen in your life that are out of your control. But you can always control how you react to them.
The second habit is being with the end in mind. This habit is just making sure that you are always thinking about what you want to happen in the future, and then most importantly, what you need to do to make that happen. This can be a goal for what you want to accomplish by the end of the day, or maybe even what you want to happen in 10 years. It's a great habit to create short and long-term goals to get where you want to be, even if it's just a to-do list.
Habit 3 is putting first things first. This is all about putting the things that you need to do before the things that you want to do. If you spend all your time doing fun things, you will run out of time to do the most important things in your life.
Think win-win is habit 4. This does not mean that everyone wins, but it does mean that we should all work together. This skill that we need to practice is learning how to compromise. You may not always agree with that person who you are working with or your family members, but there's almost always a way you can figure it out so that everyone is happy with the outcome.
The title of the next habit can be a little confusing. It is seek first to understand, then to be understood. However, habit number 5 is just being in the practice of taking the time to understand other people. We do this every day at school by taking the time to do good things and learning about each other. Sometimes we get so confused on what we believe or what we feel that we forget to try and listen to others. They may have different opinions or life experiences than us, which could change our minds on how we feel about things.
Synergize is habit 6. It is a big word, but it is a simple habit. It is just working together. Everyone has to do their part on a team.
The last and final habit is sharpen the saw. This is maybe the most important habit. It means that you need to keep yourself sharp. You keep yourself sharp by taking care of your mind, body, heart, and soul. We need to make it a habit to take time out of our busy day to take care of ourselves.
We think that Miss B is really good at all these habits, so we have asked her on to be our guest today.
We would like to welcome Miss B.
Thank you. I feel honored that you asked me.
How long have you been a teacher?
I've been a teacher for 21 years.
Have you heard of the 7 habits of happy kids?
Yes, I've heard of that, and I've also read the one about the adults also.
Out of all these habits, which one really stands out to you the most?
I think habit number 1 about being proactive. I call that staying in my own lane, only worrying about myself and not worrying about the people and things that are going on around me that I can't control.
Do you use these habits in your life?
Yes, I do. I think that I've grown in this area because in the past it was like I would get angry or get upset when people weren't doing what they were supposed to do, and it had nothing to do with me. And so now I really work on, if I can't help the situation or I can't come up with a solution to the situation, I try to stay in my own lane and do what's right for me and not worry about everyone around me.
Do you think that the students could do these habits in their life?
Definitely. One of the things that we worked on in our class, and Nicole, you'll probably remember this because you were in my class, is not worrying about everybody else, only worrying about yourself. Don't take on other people's problems. Don't take on what they're doing right or wrong. Only worry about yourself.
What do you enjoy about being a teacher?
Definitely my students. There are days that teaching makes me feel old, but my students make me feel young. I love interacting with them. I love their sense of humor. I just love being around my kids, and definitely the older kids are what I prefer. The little kids kind of scare me a little bit.
What do you like to do other than teaching?
I have a large family. I'm the baby of 11 kids. And so I love to hang out with my brothers and sisters and my nieces and nephews. I have a daughter who is a nurse at KU Med and a son who lives in Kansas City and sells insurance. Love hanging out with them. And my husband and I like to work in our yard and things like that. I also like to cook, and I love to play Candy Crush on my phone.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
Everything. I just love to cook. I love to bake. I really like trying new things because I like to see if I can get them to turn out, and then I always kind of tweak them and put my own spin on them. So I like to cook just about everything.
Do you like being a teacher?
Love being a teacher. Love it. Love the people that I work with, but love my kids and being around their energy.
Do you have a favorite sibling?
Well, my brothers always have my back, and I love being around them, but my sisters are my go-to. Whenever I have a problem, whenever I have a good thing, they are usually the first people that I talk to. And I call Allie a lot because as my daughter, she knows me about as well as anybody else in this world.
So who's older, your son or your daughter?
My son is older. He's 26, and my daughter is 23. And they both live in Kansas City, so it's nice because they're both close, and we can go see them whenever we want or anything like that.
What are your kids' names?
Jeff is my oldest son, and Allie is my daughter. And then I have a little dog named Pixie who weighs 3 pounds. She's a little Yorkie, and she's full of spit, let me tell you.
How old is she?
Pixie will be 6 in January.
Do you have a favorite thing to do with your siblings?
We just like to hang out and talk about when we were little, and both of my parents have passed away, so we like to bring up stories about them and just be with them is my favorite thing.
What's your favorite memory of when you were younger?
I grew up on a farm in Opie, and so just being outside, we were rarely inside. And in the lineup of 11, there were 3 brothers right above me. So they were stuck taking me places always, but we would go fishing and we would play baseball and just being outside, which I wish kids today could do that more. I don't feel like they get out and get dirty and have fun like they used to.
What's your favorite memory with your kids?
My son played baseball. He was on a traveling team, and going to the baseball tournaments was always so much fun because you get really close with the other families. And so it was just like a big family reunion, and we would stay at hotels and swim and barbecue and things like that. So baseball tournaments were a lot of fun for our family.
Do you have a favorite sport?
I love basketball is my least favorite sport. I think it's a long season, and I always tell my husband, why don't they just play one quarter? It's always decided in the last quarter anyway, so let's just play the last quarter. But I love to watch baseball, and I love to watch football, and you all know my love for the Chiefs, so that's my favorite thing to watch.
Was there ever a time where you were really mad at your siblings or your kids?
The brother right in front of me, his name was Neil. We fought like cats and dogs. I guess because we were so close together and we were the youngest. But he used to make me so mad, and I would call him names. And I was not a nice person because I worried about what he did more than what I did, going back to the habit that I was talking about. But now we're really close, and I think we grew out of that. But when I was little, I didn't enjoy being around him very much. What about you guys? Brothers and sisters, how many do you have?
I have a sister and a brother.
And do you ever fight with them?
I fight with my brother a lot.
Yeah. What about you, Nicole?
I have a brother and 2 little sisters.
And do you fight with them?
I fight a lot with my little sister.
Gotcha. What about you, Tilly?
I have a younger brother and a younger sister, and I usually fight with my sister a lot because she always gets me in trouble for doing something that I don't really do.
Yeah, my brother Neil did that too. Would blame things on me, and it really wasn't my fault because I was a perfect angel, I'm pretty sure. I think when kids are little, they just fight. Allie and Jeffrey fought a lot when they were little, and now they're really close. So maybe it's just when you're younger, you do that.
I always used to fight with my sisters too when I was younger, and now we're very close. So I think it's just part of growing up and trying to figure things out. And I think that, like you said, you were talking about habit 1 being proactive, but I really feel like a lot of these habits can tie back to getting along with your siblings and other people. Like, seek first to understand, then to be understood, like taking the time to understand their point of view and what they're doing, like why they're frustrating you or what they're doing, because in their eyes it's not a problem. So
right.
I think like a lot of the habits tie back to that and like getting along with people. And ironically enough, I feel like you have the hardest time sometimes getting along with your family than you do other people, because
you're with them so much.
You're with them so much, and you feel comfortable with them, so you don't mince words. You tell them exactly how you feel and things like that. So.
Correct. And one thing that I wanted to mention, going back to how I had to get a different mindset about worrying about other people and not worrying only about myself and staying in my own lane, is when I saw sharpen your saw, which is number 6, right? 7. And taking care of yourself. Every morning when I get up, I say to myself, okay, you got this, Mary Beth. You are important to your students, and you do what's best for them. Make them happy, do what's best, and make them good human beings. At night, when I lay my head on my pillow, I always take 2 minutes every single night to think, what went well today? Who did I help? What do I have to be thankful for? And that has really helped me kind of focus on myself, and I find myself throughout the day thinking, ooh, I can think about this tonight when I say, what am I thankful for? Because this was really cool. With this being National Education Week, my students have showered me with gifts, and it's just been so nice. So every night I think to myself how fortunate I am to be their teacher, and how thankful I am that I was led to Village and I get to work with fabulous people. But just being thankful for what I have instead of what I don't have has really helped me.
What do you like to do with your students?
Nicole, what do I like to do with my students? What did we do last year a lot?
Last year, we tend to have a lot of prizes for being good.
I think you should be rewarded. As far as academically, if I had to pick one thing in fourth grade that I don't let my students get by with, and that's multiplication facts, because I was one of those girls that didn't learn my multiplication facts real well. And I struggled in math because I could not recall my facts quickly. So that is something that I require my fourth grade students. They must be able to do 100 multiplication facts in 3 minutes, because I know that's going to help them from here on out. But I just like to have fun with my kids. We laugh. I like extra recess. I like to do things for other people in the school. I'm a pretty lighthearted, like to have fun person, so I tried to bring that into my classroom.
So school's almost over. What is your favorite memory here at Village?
This year or in general?
In general.
In general, I don't know. Last year I found out that I had cancer. And so I was gone for a lot of the year with my treatments and things like that. And when I came back, my kids just were so sweet to me and so wonderful. And I'll never forget when I came back, of course, I had no hair and I was wearing caps. And if anybody knows me, I am not a girly girl. I don't wear caps. I don't wear makeup. I don't wear those things. And my kids said, "Can we see your hair? Your head?" So I took off my cap, and of course I was bald, and they were so sweet about it. And then they said, "Why do you wear that?" And I said, "Well, because I'm bald and I don't want you guys to think it's weird." And they said, "We don't think it's weird. We think you're beautiful the way you are. Don't wear it." I took off that cap, and I didn't wear a cap the rest of the time because my kids gave me the courage to do that. So that's probably my favorite memory from last year. What about you? What are your favorite habits? And how do you, I like to hear how people do them. How do you bring them into your life?
My favorite habit is probably habit 6, because usually in my class, sometimes we get fight when we have to work together.
Oh, yeah. So what do you do to make that better?
Usually I say, let's just work together for this project and then we can go our separate ways.
Well, there you go. Good idea.
My favorite habit must be number 7, because I tend to think a lot about myself. Like, I used to think about other people's opinions, and so when I discovered this habit, I started really taking care of myself to separate myself.
Nice. Very good.
Mine probably be habit number 1, because I usually fight with my sister, so that one kind of helps.
Yeah. I try to also always think about other people. I don't remember which habit it was. I'm sorry, but not judging other people, not thinking poorly of them, because I don't know where they're coming from. I'm not them. So trying to know that everybody's fighting a battle. Everybody has things that they're working through. And so not judging people like I used to is something that I work on too. What about you, Mrs. Evans? What's your favorite?
Well, so my favorite, I do love the being proactive. I think teaching students that is so important because, controlling the things you can, if you see something, do something, getting ahead of things. I think putting first things first is important. That's something that I really have to work on. I juggle a lot of different things, and so I have to really prioritize, okay, what do I need to get done? And I think that really helps putting a good mindset to it, but then also making sure you are putting things that matter in your life first too, like your family and things like that. And so I'd say I love all of them. I've really enjoyed getting to learn more about them by teaching them. And each, we've gone through 3 groups of Eagle Leaders, and each time I feel like I get a lot more connected to each one and understand what it means. But the one I need to work on the most, and so I'd say that maybe is my favorite, is sharpen the saw, which is the last one, because like Nicole said, it's really easy to forget to take care of yourself. And if you're not keeping yourself sharp and taking care of yourself, then everything else suffers. And so that's the one that I'm trying to work on right now the most. So
Nice. And what I heard Nicole saying is that worrying about what other people think of you, and you can't worry about it. As long as you're true to yourself and you know what you're doing is right, you can't worry about what other people think too much. And that's something that I work on also.
Yeah, me too, for sure. Because and you want people to think you're a good person, you're kind and caring. So in that regard, yes, but when it comes down to it though, if you can lay your head down on the pillow at night and you're comfortable with yourself, like happy, then nothing else,
Correct.
nothing else matters.
Correct. Tell me your plans for this summer. Are you going on any trips or doing anything fun?
I might go to Mexico
Nice.
to help prepare for my uncle's wedding in December, I think.
Very good.
I can't remember where we're going, but I usually can't go too far away because every time we're so close to going somewhere far away because everyone's old enough, then my mom is going to have another baby. So, because my brother still isn't old enough because he's only 1.5, so we're not going that far away, but I can't remember where we're going.
Yeah. Sometimes little short trips are more fun than getting in a car and driving a long way. Do you have anything this summer?
There's like this place out of town, and it has like a butterfly place.
In Wichita, maybe?
I think so.
Uh-huh.
And then we might go there, and there's like fish you can feed there.
Oh, nice. That sounds fun. My son gets married June 30th in Boulder, Colorado, so we're looking forward to that. And then we have a family reunion in Texas, and I'm looking forward to that. But other than that, I just plan on relaxing and working outside and enjoying my time off.
I might go to the escape room in town because my dad right now, he's in outage, so I don't get to see him a lot. And when school is out, my dad will be out of outage, so we might be able to go to the escape room.
Oh, fun. That'll be fun. Can I say one thing that kind of doesn't have anything to do with this? But I just want to say, number one, I love watching the work that the Eagle leaders do. The handshakes in the morning are so much fun, and they're such good ambassadors for our school. I love the recycling, and I just think it's cool that you guys get to do that and learn these habits and all the things you get to learn. And I want to thank you for leading them, Mrs. Evans, because that is a great thing for our school, I think.
It's been a real pleasure. It's been fun.
And just thanks. I just am thankful that I work at Village. I think Village is a great school. I think Mrs. Mitchell is a great leader. I love the people I work with. The students are respectful and wonderful, and I think it's just a great place to learn.
I couldn't agree more.
What are you going to do over the summer?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
So I have another job, so I'll work there and try to get caught up because I've been here a lot lately. And then I'm going, the big trip I'm going on is my husband and I are going with one of our friends to Alaska.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. And then we have a girls club basketball program. And so we have girls from 3rd grade through juniors in high school that travel and play basketball. And so we've started doing that on the weekends. And then basically the whole month of July, we'll be traveling to basketball tournaments. So
Nice.
I'm going to see if Mrs. Bonatotibus wants to go with us because she loves basketball.
As long as they only play the last quarter and not the whole game.
Yeah, so we go to places and it's kind of crazy. They'll have like 80 courts all in this massive conference center. And so you get to see all the big time coaches that are recruiting
nice.
people. So it's kind of fun. And what I really like about it, aside from the basketball, is we really get to build relationships with a lot of our players, and we've gotten really close with many of them over the last 8 years that we've been doing it. And so that's what I enjoy, is getting to know the girls and
Fun.
families, and it's usually a good time.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of consumes my summer.
And I think I might have to call Mrs. Evans and we could go to lunch one day. How about that?
I think that would be amazing.
That would be
love
perfect.
that. Yeah, I would love that. My final question is always either regarding all of the habits or just life in general. And I know you've given us some already, but what is your last piece of advice to all of our listeners that you could give them, Miss B?
Just enjoy life. Don't sweat the small stuff, because most of the stuff that we worry about is not something that we need to worry about. So, stay in your own lane, be happy, count your blessings, and that's about all I have to say.
All of these habits, they only work if you make them truly a habit. And that means that you do it without thinking. It's not. And so in the beginning, we've talked in our meetings, it's something you have to do on purpose. You have to try. And I am going to take your advice of what you do as your habit, because I bet you don't even have to think about every morning and every night when you go to bed. You just automatically
Correct.
do those two things because it's become part of who you are, and it is a habit, so you don't even think about it.
Right.
And so that's what I'm going to take away from you is I'm going to start doing that every morning and every night.
Nice. And maybe one night you could be like thankful for me.
Yeah,
you think?
100%. 100%. No doubt in my mind. All right, well, if that's it, then what do we say?
Thank you, Miss B.
Thank you guys for asking me. It meant a lot to me.